Now, this is a big mistake from Magnus. I suspect that this was a move that he played, and he simply made a miscalculation here. Computer already thinks that black is much better. It wants g4, knight f4, and this move rook to e1, maybe with the idea of g5. But after rook to e8 here, pressuring the pony with this knight, pressuring the bishop, and everything that's happening in the center of the board, black is better. But Magnus goes queen d2. We get bishop takes pawn, bishop takes, and now we get the move bishop takes e5. Now, it's very clear to me that this is exactly what Magnus had miscalculated. Mind you, black can also take the bishop and get away with it, because after takes and g4, black can take the pony. If you take the bishop, you lose the pawn in the game. And after takes and bishop f4 here, black simply wins the queen back. And at the end of the day, black will simply have one extra pawn on the board. But instead, we get bishop takes knight here. Magnus plays bishop g4, and now we get to move bishop d6. I would say objectively that queen takes f5 probably would have been a little bit preferable as opposed to taking, because even though black is better in this position, your extra pawn is now a doubled pawn on the rim. And in a blitz game, it should be much easier for white to maneuver a knight versus bishop, say d1 and e3, or maybe e2, g1, h3, g5, f4 stuff, depending on what happens. And also, white can easily target the pawn. So even though in a classical game this would be winning, this version of the position lends itself to a situation where black is a little bit sloppy. White could create some chances and turn the game around. So we get rook e1, rook e8, king b1. Quang plays rook e6, doubles the rooks, and now we get to move rook takes rook. Now, black could take with a pawn on e6 here, but after the move f4, I think stopping black from playing e5. Black is still much better here in this endgame after, say, king f7 and king c1 with maybe rook g8, but it's not concrete in terms of how winning this is, and it's going to require a lot of technique. So we get rook takes rook, king a2, king g7, and now Magnus plays rook c1, intending to reroute this pony to e3 and potentially f5 down the road. Get h6.